Hi, I'm Mindy Stern.
I'm JD Cargill.
And I'm Michelle Arago, and this is Friendsome Then Some.
We are three best friends who met over 2 decades ago working in LA's local news scene, and we started this podcast to listen, learn, and laugh. Oh, do we laugh? On our journey to improving the midlife experience through the incredible power of friendship.
And each week we rip back the curtain on midlife, candidly exposing the biggest issues facing middle-aged people, often by sharing the intimate details of our own lives and our friendship. Through expert guests and celebrity interviews, we offer friendship-based tips, tricks, hacks, and solutions to living your best midlife. We are Midlife AF
And Flossom AH.
So here we go. It's
Friendsome and Then Some.
Let the rooster crow kick off the show. Here we are.
Here we are.
Hey, you two beautiful women. How the heck are
Oh,
you?
hello, handsome gentlemen.
Oh,
How are
thank you
you?
very I'm better now that I'm next to you. I love our recordings
I know.
because
Best.
I get to see my two besties.
This is my happy place. Really
It
is.
is.
My happy
Everybody-
place of any day.
Sacred place.
I get excited. We've talked before about work and play. Going to come here with you, it's not work, it's play. It's like, I am so excited to see you guys and catch up and reconnect. And it's what life's all about. And I'm excited for our guest today.
I'm very
Ooh.
excited
I'm
for
very
our guest today
excited.
too. I feel like
This is so juicy.
I think she's excited. She
Yeah.
knows she knew we were going to be excited.
she knows how excited we are.
I feel.
I
You
think
can
she
feel it.
does.
Who's on today, Michelle? Let's talk about it.
So Char Margolis. Okay. CharVision. She hosts a show, CharVision. Check her out on YouTube. She has a podcast. She's a celebrity psychic, intuitive psychic medium. She's an author. She is a proud owner of Sunny. Get it? Sunny and Char.
Oh.
Char.
Her doggy, who is her psychic sidekick, Char Margolis. Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Friends Show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us on.
Oh my gosh, we wanted to just get you right on board and just start the free flowing chitter chatter with you. We're so giddy to have you for real.
Oh, it's so
And,
kind. You guys are making me feel so welcome.
Oh, well, now you're in
You
our
are very,
friendsome.
very welcome.
Well, for those of you who are watching, you can see a beautiful book in the background, which is actually our favorite colors of Friendsome. We
Mhm.
love that horizon look, that sunset look, and that's your book, The Universe is Calling. Can you tell us a little bit about that book and how you
Yeah,
got
you know,
started in that whole-
I actually wrote the book before COVID happened, and it was published before that. And actually the last show I did was Kelly and Ryan to promote it.
Oh.
And it's about how all of us are interconnected and that we have a collective karma. And then what's so weird is that COVID happened, and we all wear masks to protect each other. We're all supposed to be careful to protect each other. And so I just feel that we are all interconnected, and our school now, life is a school, and we're here to learn. And our goal is to be compassionate, loving, and caring for one another.
I like that
you
message.
had the intuition to
Amen,
write
sister.
that book before this even happened, where we did realize our interconnectedness.
That's
as a
crazy
planet.
if you think about it. A
Mhm.
book all about
It
how
was a
connected
prelude.
we are. And then we could not have been more connected with some people, or realized during the pandemic how hard it is to be
Disconnect.
disconnected.
Yeah.
Right. And you know how important it is to not be judgmental with one another and to accept everybody for who and what they are. You know, if somebody's gay or straight or whatever, whatever religion, whatever nationality, that we really all are one. And I believe we are all reincarnated.
Mm.
And so I believe that if somebody is not kind to a certain kind of person, that when they're reincarnated, they become that which they are prejudiced against.
Oh, interesting.
If they're
To walk in their
bigoted
shoes,
or
say.
right.
To learn the lesson that you needed to learn because of how you
In
treated
your
them
next
last
life.
time.
Mhm.
So I always like asking people who believe in reincarnation, do you have a sense of who you were maybe reincarnated from the past?
Yeah, I actually do. My older sister is a doctor of psychology, and she does past life regressions.
Oh.
So she's taken me to my past lives.
Really?
And how much
Yeah.
awareness do you have to know where you've been? I'm curious.
I know pretty much. And you know, it's how we explain a 2-year-old or 3-year-old going to the piano in the middle of the night and playing Chopin. I mean, how do they do that? How do they know that? You know,
True.
I feel that they brought the knowledge with them from another lifetime.
I call it tapped in. I think I read a lot about this when my kids were young, because they say children are tapped into the other world and lose it by between 5 and 7 years of age. And that's about when society starts putting things in their heads and their parents, and they start losing that memory. I had some crazy things happen with both my boys, but in particular, my second son, who was very tapped into his past life and past lives. And if you're not a believer, sometimes you will be introduced to someone, albeit my child,
Right.
and they either confirm your beliefs or
Right.
make you a believer. Because I'm
Right.
telling you, there are things that came out of his mouth when he just was able to start speaking that would blow your mind, Char.
I believe you. You know, there's an old saying, out of the mouths of babes.
Right.
And kids come up with the craziest things, and they're so intuitive. And I feel that the veil between heaven and earth is thinner, and they're just more open to it. It's society and people that try to instill it out of them. That's the problem.
You know what? Can we go back? How did you know you had these abilities? Because I'm sure you get asked that a lot, and I'm always curious of the path of enlightenment
You were young.
and where that came in.
I knew things as a child. And the interesting thing is that my parents listened to me. Like my dad would took me to the grocery store, and we got the bill, and my mom would always look over the bill. And I said, Mommy, that lady overcharged us. And my mom looked at the bill, and she did. She overcharged us. And 2 weeks later, we went to lunch, and I said, Mommy, when the lady brought the bill, I said, Mommy, that lady overcharged us. Now, it was only 2 weeks later, and it, you know, some kids would look for attention or whatever. Well, my parents really looked at it, and the woman overcharged us. So they didn't say, stop making up stories, stop trying to get attention. They listened.
Yeah, that's.
And then when I was 8 years old, it's funny that, you know, Michelle, you said something between ages 3 or 7 or whatever it was, because when I was 8 years old, our house was broken into, and the crawl space attic was in my closet. And 2 weeks after our house was broken into, I woke up in the middle of the night, and there was a figure at the foot of my bed of a man that I could see through. And he was wearing rags, and I could see through him. And I got scared to death, and I put the blankets over my head. And I said, the next morning, I said, Mommy, the burglars were here again last night. And she goes, oh no, honey, that was just a Sandman. And I went, oh, there's a Sandman?
Wow.
And so, you know, my parents were just so supportive, and my dad would dream numbers and bet them and win. And, and they were kind. They were kind, generous, loving, good people. And as are my two sisters, thank God, that I still have, who are 9 and 13 years older than I am. Aww. And my sister that does past life regression, as I said. And so I believe that we keep coming back till we get it right and we learn all our lessons.
I love it.
So explain what a psychic intuitive medium is for those that don't know exactly.
Well, a psychic is somebody who can see ahead of, you know, things to prevent problems and attain goals in your life. An intuitive is somebody who also gets feelings about things, and we all have intuition, and I teach intuition to people because, you know, it's that time when you wanted something, maybe a business deal, a romance, something your gut said, don't do it, but you went and did it anyway, and you suffer the consequences. Has that happened to you?
Oh yeah. When you don't listen to 100%. That.
Or maybe you did listen and you attained the goal that you wanted. Now, a medium is somebody who can communicate with the spirit world. And I do that as well.
You have
I do all those things, and I teach intuition to people. I teach psychic intuition to people. I actually am doing life coaching now as well.
Really?
Do you find? Oh, go ahead.
I was wondering if you were talking about, giving people their psychic readings or feeling that intuition. Does that happen to you all the time? Like, or people in the
You have
spirit
to
world, like
focus and
right
like
now, even
sit
talking
into-
to us, are people from the spirit
No,
world
I don't use it unless I decide to use it and
Oh,
turn it on.
You can kind of turn it on and off like a switch.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
That's
Yeah.
I can
lucky.
turn it on.
Luck is
I can
skill.
turn it on and off because if it's draining when you connect energetically. And so it's really important to have balance in my life. I always say when you're psychologically, physically, and emotionally balanced, you can really be more intuitive about everything.
Right.
Because you can't always be doing that intuition thing or that psychic thing. You want to live life. Life is here. We're here to learn lessons. That's why we're here.
But it is a skill, and that's why to go back to children, like I'm an empath, and my children, they've been called indigo. And as you know, being an intuitive or an empathic person, if you don't teach or learn the skills of that white light protection, I'm like trying to teach my kids how to turn it on and off. And sometimes my older son walks into a room and instantly doesn't like an energy that he's getting from a certain person. And so he's honing his skills, but also I have to protect them to turn it on and off. You want to live your life. You don't always want to be getting so much energy from the outsource. Right.
And here's the thing. We live in a physical world and we live in an energetic world, and there's good and evil in both. And so I'm all about protection. I always say a prayer protection. I teach my students in my every single time I do a reading, I say a prayer protection to make sure that we're all protected, because as in everyday life, there are good and bad people. In the spirit world, there are good and bad spirits, and you have to be really, really careful. And the problem with many psychics is they think they're getting information from a higher place, and they're really being fooled.
Interesting.
Oh, so there's bad people on the other side.
But people don't know it. They think they're helping people. And it's kind of like a Ouija board. It'll tell you 9 really specific things. And the 10th thing they'll say, go learn to build a bomb and blow up your school. So it's really important for all of us. I believe in prayer and positive thinking and protection. I feel that that's the most important thing any of us can do. Because there are trickster energies.
I'm curious, have you experienced something that has affected you or impacted your life in a way where you were tricked by some kind of reading, like the bad or a spirit?
I've been fooled by people I trusted. Because I always feel that people are good and kind and loving, like my family, and I am, and they're not.
They're not, are they?
I've been kind of tipped off about it, but I let my emotions get in the way. And so I teach by my own mistakes, by what I've learned.
Hey, Char, what is the journey like? Because I think it's fascinating that you were born with a gift and then you were able to translate that gift into a career. At what point in your journey?
Well, I knew it was my calling. I had met people who were in spiritual work in Michigan, and I met and the teacher who led the group said, you can do readings. And I did for a stranger. I told her things there's no way I could know about her life and about her world. And I had an epiphany right at that moment that this was my life's work.
Wow.
And I've dedicated my life to it ever since.
Is it something like, is it an ability that everybody has that is just like?
Everybody's intuitive. Everybody's psychic. My students are blowing me away.
Wow.
The most important thing to me is that you want the person doing it to come from a pure, good, loving place, not a controlling, wanting to control others or take advantage of other people. When we die, it's not about how rich you are, how famous you are, how great you look. It's about our deeds. And did we live with love and compassion and kindness? Because all we take with us when we cross over is love. That's all that matters.
Wow.
Well, you've obviously not only made your career out of it, but a very successful career.
Well, touch wood. I never take,
Well, you've
I
got
I I
it's
I
not
I
with that
never
clientele.
assume, and I'm grateful.
Well,
I'm
and
grateful
you stay
for everything
youthful
I do.
yeah, and you stay youthful and you're open, but you do have a huge celebrity clientele. And I'm actually a few days ago catching up on my RuPaul's
Oh.
Drag Race, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden RuPaul says Char Margolis, and I was like, oh, what? That's so cool. I mean, you do, like you said, you were on Ryan and Kelly, and but
Regis.
how did the RuPaul thing happen, and
Tell us
what is that
everything.
like when you're
Okay.
reading
Well,
a room?
first of all, I adore RuPaul.
Oh my
Who
God.
doesn't? Oh my gosh.
She's an incredible human being.
Oh my God.
Just so special. So 25 years ago, he had a radio show in New York on KTU radio. And he always had me on, and I was a regular on his show, and I would take phone callers and read for people. And then through the years, things would come up where I would, connect with him in some way. And he actually wrote the foreword to my book, The Universe is Calling You.
Wow.
Oh, that's
And which is, I mean, come on, I'm so honored. He
Really
that
is
he would write that.
What a
I
force.
also have blurbs from Chris Colfer. Do you know Chris from Glee?
Of course. Mhm.
And he's an amazing person too. I'm crazy about him. And then Michael Patrick King, who wrote
course.
Sex and the City.
Yeah.
So I got some very great. I always say the gay mafia is like.
Oh, I'm seeing a
Get the
theme,
gays
Char.
behind
I'm
you.
like, why is Char not in my speed dial?
And
Because-
yeah, but it's so great. So anyway, they called me. Well, first of all, I did a show with World of Wonder called Reading Queens with Char Margolis. I'm forgetting all the shows.
Reading Queens.
Reading Queens. So I've read for like Miss Vanjie and
No
Miss
way.
Van-
Mariah and a bunch of the other ones. So it's on YouTube and it's on World of Wonder. And then like I did that like 2 summers ago, I think. And then they just called me out of the blue and said, and this was right when COVID was starting. And they said, would you come on the show? And I said, yeah, are you kidding? It's Drag Race.
Yeah,
Of course.
it's huge.
And they said, well, will you come in studio? And then it was like, it's COVID. And, it was in the beginning of it. And I just felt that it was okay. And they were extremely careful. I had to go into, I'm in Palm Springs right now. I had to go into LA for a few days and they had to do the test to make sure I was okay. And the great thing about going on the set and in the studio there was that everybody's so careful with their makeup that you didn't really, I went with a mask on, but they have those shields so nobody gets their makeup ruined.
Of
course.
Yeah, yes.
Of course.
And they walk around with it like,
Their
I'm a
makeup is
huge fan of
everything.
the show. I know we all are, but and they have taken extraordinary cautions during filming.
They
did a whole
were
special-
amazing.
Yeah.
They were amazing. And I'm friends with Tom Campbell. I don't know if you know who that is, but he produces there. And I don't know, they're just really, really special.
Yeah, and I wonder because you're psychic, and it's getting pretty heated right now. We're down to the top 4, I think. Yeah.
Don't give any spoilers. I'm only on.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
only
Well,
on.
so
I'm
Simone,
down some episodes.
Rose.
No, don't say. Shh,
I'm just saying it. Any names stand
No,
out
but
to
they
you
could have
as
been
a
kicked
possible
off.
winner?
I'm behind.
I think I'm not saying anything.
Don't say anything. 'Cause I'm
Oh.
only
You're
on
such a
episode
diplomat, Char. Very, very smart. Very, very smart.
10. Well,
I'm not a spoiler.
Well, with RuPaul, I will say this: when I was in the hospital, I had a really bad issue with COVID. COVID and
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we had a real run-in and near-death experiences for about 4 or 5 days. But in the times when I could focus and just breathe, I downloaded the app Masterclass, and I watched all 9 episodes of RuPaul's Masterclass. And I would
That's
advise if
amazing.
anybody out there has Masterclass, watch RuPaul's. I think he has a total of 9 episodes.
Wow.
And
He would love to know that.
please tell him that he saved my life in the hospital.
He would
Because
love to know that. You know what?
self-love and self-doubt things that he teaches and the lessons. Oh my
Love
God,
yourself.
he touched my heart so much.
Yeah. He's really a special person on our earth who's a healer. He actually was on CharVision. I interviewed him on my little podcast. He came on.
Oh, that's so. Do you see a
Yeah,
vision of him being on ours? Just curious.
That's
She
Very
might
good,
have
man.
to make
Very
a
good.
And then,
call.
and I actually was on his podcast as well. And we taped at his house with Michelle.
Oh,
What's
that's
just the
then,
tea with RuPaul and Michelle
Michelle
Visage?
Visage.
I love
Yeah.
that podcast. They're
Wow.
It
really
was
good.
really, really fun.
Oh. So what do you?
Yeah. And
you
also on CharVision, I had Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos
Oh,
during
had,
COVID. During
Wow.
COVID. and
Heather
how-
Dubois and Terry
Dubrow.
Oh, Dubrow. I said Dubois.
So, okay, Michelle, you said you had a near-death experience. What was it?
Well, I
A bad
got
reaction to
COVID really bad and was hospitalized and just
But you weren't pronounced dead, right?
no,
Or
I
you
wasn't
were?
pronounced dead, but I had several, like 6.
Because a real near-death experience is when somebody's heart stops and they're dead, and they go to the white light, and the angels tell them, you know what?
I
It's
would
not your time.
actually, I never saw a white light. What happened to me would be in between these breathing attacks where I thought I was having my last breath.
Oh my
I would
God!
go into, I called it 3 tiers because 5 nights it happened. So there was a pattern that I recognized where there's a spiritual world where people who I know who died came to me
Wow!
and would console me and hold like my grandmother who passed would come hold my
Oh,
hand. And then there was a second layer of just geographic dimension shapes moving.
Mhm.
I mean, maybe I was on some psychedelics. I don't know, but
no!
there was a dimensional world that was all shapes and
Certainly
colors
weren't
and
sleeping
moving.
though. You weren't sleeping.
And
at
then there
all.
was the third layer that I went to that was all black sky with these tiny stars that had very interesting like binary sounds.
Wow!
So there were 3 layers that I never had the white light experience and I didn't code, but every time I would feel like I was having my last breath in
Oh
that
my God!
calm, I would have these 3 layers and it happened every night for 5 nights.
I didn't know that. Did you?
God
I
bless
did
you.
not know that.
Thank God you're okay.
Yeah.
Well, what was that
Oh.
then? If it wasn't, what are those?
No, then you were definitely connected to the spirit world. Absolutely.
Damn.
You absolutely were there.
You do a reading?
Well, I meditated to get out of the breathing attacks. So I felt like there were a couple things happening. The steroids make you like that. I told you about the
Crazy.
superhuman hearing
Mhm.
and you're like super jacked up as a human and your abilities and your senses,
Mhm.
even though I had no sense of smell or taste, but your other senses are
Your
super
brain
heightened.
was on
You
high.
cannot sleep. But then I was meditating through the breathing attacks, and what I feel like was my third eye and my chakra that's
Chakra.
above
Right?
the crown. I was trying to find the word. Was
Crown.
so open that I think that's how I saw those dimensions. So maybe you
That's
can put another
amazing.
word to it. That maybe
Yeah,
it wasn't near death. Maybe it was just
No, but it was like you got a visitation to the spirit world, but it's similar to what the near-death experience people go through. So I can tell you this, I am feeling something, and I don't know which one of you this is, but I'm getting, just say yes or no and don't say the name, okay? Say okay.
okay. I got really excited
I love
for a
this.
minute.
I got all excited.
Okay,
I mean,
so I was getting somebody with an M or A initial. Was there, did one of you have like a grandmother or somebody that's an M or an A?
oh my.
Well, my initials are MA.
No, someone else, someone deceased. Did you know your grandparents' names?
Yeah, they
I'm
were
trying to think.
both
I'm literally like,
MA.
Don't say them, but was there an M or A initial with one of them?
Yeah.
Is that you, Mindy?
Mm-hmm.
Is that your grandma?
Mm-hmm.
Was she an M? or an
Yes.
A?
Well, she was an M, but that
Was
was
she wait. Was she spelled M-A
yes.
like Marie or Maria or Mary?
No, it was
But it's M-A-R. Is it M-A-R
no.
or M-A?
M-A. I mean,
Was it a nickname?
it was a nickname.
Mama? Or
Oh, like mama or
It was
M-A something.
yeah, M-A something. Do you want me
Okay.
to expand on that?
Well, wait a second. And is there an R with that or a B?
In her last name.
Okay. I'm not sure that I'm getting the whole name, but I feel like she's around you.
Really?
Yeah.
Aw.
And I feel like are you wanting to sell a home or buy a home or change a home?
Yes. Yes.
I feel like you're supposed to.
thank God.
Yeah.
'Cause they're in deep.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I feel like you're supposed to.
Yeah. That's how we feel.
And I feel like you'll be happy when you do.
Okay.
And are you changing to a different area or something, or moving to a different area, or just changing a home?
Changing
It's a whole different cul-de-sac.
it's yeah, we've moved into another area within
She's
last
in
year.
between.
But
She's
I'm
been in between
living next
spaces.
door to a home we're changing. We bought the house next door and we're changing that home.
Okay, that makes sense. So I just think it's a positive, good thing for you.
Yay.
And yeah, and also, did you ever do anything with recordings, like record?
Yeah. Like what? A lot of different things.
Like recording, like not this, but doing like other recordings, like, or sound, what is it called? Voiceovers.
Yes.
That's how she.
Yeah. Well, that's how I got launched into a media career. I was,
Okay, so
Sound
are you wanting to do more of those?
I've thought
We
about
do.
that.
We wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, yes and no. I've always wanted to do something with them, but I haven't. I mean, they got me where I was and I had a really great run in my life. And then I just, then
You stopped.
I
Okay.
didn't do it. I actually made a demo tape, but then I never sent it out. And I never have I've always said, I want to do this. I want to have do a voiceover in a Disney film. Like that's been something I've
I think you might do something like that down the road.
What?
Like a voiceover
Oh
thing.
my God, my whole body is covered
Mhm.
head to toe in
If you have
Your sounds for her.
if you have goosebumps, that makes sense. I was also getting an R or B initial. I don't know who that is.
Your last name, your
Yes.
maiden last name
Yeah.
has a
R.
B
Was
and
it-
an R.
My maiden name is B.
Your maiden name is B. Okay.
It has
And
an
then
R in it.
An R. It has both in there. Burr, 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 burr.
and excuse me. Is there a male around you that has a bad back or leg?
Yes. Yes.
Is that your husband?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I feel like he really loves you.
Yes, he does.
Aw.
I feel like he adores you and you adore him, and it's a beautiful relationship. You're like soulmates. But he needs to either do stretches or
My God, I've been getting him on the floor. Like, let's get on the floor. Let's stretch. That we're going to start
Wow.
stretching every night.
I'm not allowed to give out medical advice, but he needs like a physical therapist.
Yes.
He needs somebody to help him with this. And again, I'm not allowed to give out medical advice.
Of course not. I
There's
understand.
there's something called ozone shots
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh,
that might be
ozone
helpful
therapy.
to take the pain or help him. He needs to start doing more yoga or something, or he's
Oh
gonna
my gosh. Or he's going to what?
he's gonna have pain. He's gonna have pain.
Yeah, he has a lot of pain.
I have an
I have a lot of
ozone
pain right now
therapist.
too. What's that?
I have
And
an ozone-
did they talk about operating?
No, he's just got like an arthritis in his lower back and then he's got really flat feet. And I made an appointment for a podiatrist last week and he canceled. And I made it this week and he canceled. And I'm like, you need orthotics. We need to get your back.
Okay, right. You need to really
Push him up.
pay attention to it, because if he's midlife like you guys are,
Yeah, he is.
then he needs to, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yes. 100.
Take it from somebody who's older than you.
Aw.
So let it, but it's okay. And also, did you ever do anything with skiing or
Yeah.
snow skiing?
Snow skiing, a big part of my life.
Yeah. But did you not do as much this year, maybe because of COVID, or
No,
you just,
we moved.
or you did, so you didn't have time to do it, but did you ever have a home near the ski place?
What the hell?
Like
Yes.
either near Aspen or Vail or
Yeah.
Wyoming or something?
Yeah.
I'm not sure where I am.
Hello. We have a home in Jackson Hole. Yes, in Wyoming.
Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Tetons.
Yeah. And the Tetons.
Yes. Yes. And we ski
Yeah.
a little bit, but
It's
Not-
that's a great, that's a beautiful, I've never been there, but I know it's a beautiful area. But anyway, he needs to get back in shape if he is going to ski
yeah.
because of his back.
Yeah. Yeah. He can't ski because he has plantar fasciitis and he can't put boots on very long and everything hurts.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
So-
I want him to ski with me.
But I feel like if you take an alternative approach as well,
Mhm.
there's ways to help him with laser and other things, but he needs,
Ozone, yeah.
and ozone and laser and stuff like that. Anyway, that's what I'm.
Fascinating.
That's so
So you're-
cool.
So your grandma's around. I just don't know her name.
Well, I
but-
called her name was Edna Martinson, but I called her Mogum, Magum. Mogum, because I couldn't say grandma. So
Yeah, so that's
my
the
name
M-
for her. Mogum.
That's the MA I was getting.
Mogum. Hi,
Honey.
I just didn't know the rest of the name, but she really loves you and she's happy and proud of you. And then,
Aw.
okay. And then,
Welcome.
Michelle, is there a J or G person around you?
Right next to him. Right next door.
JD is right here.
or Cargill.
Or JD, do you have somebody that's a J or G?
Oh yeah,
Is that a male?
yeah.
Is he
Yeah.
spelled J-O or J-A?
G
Or
G-
or starts G-E or G
O
G-E-
G-O?
G-E-O.
GEO.
Like George?
Yeah, that's
Is that your dad? Who is that?
it's my partner,
Or your partner?
my
Oh,
boyfriend. Yeah,
well, your boyfriend. Okay.
Your dad is.
my
Are
dad is
you-
also a J though.
Yeah, your
'cause I have
dad's
the
a
same. My
Jerry.
dad and I have the same name, so he's a J as well.
Okay. Yeah, but your dad's living, right?
He is
Wow.
Yeah.
not the best
And-
life, but he is doing it. I mean, I love him to pieces, but
He's alive.
he should move some more.
And-
I'm always on his case about moving.
And I'm wondering if you and your boyfriend want to move, but you can't.
Oh, he
Hmm,
does, but
there's
yeah, complicated.
that is an issue in our.
I see
our
a
work.
confusion about where you're living, that you want to move, but you can't, or
It's-
there's something holding you back.
It is an ongoing actually thing with us because he keeps an apartment in West Hollywood because it's close to his office, but he hasn't had to go to the office for a year and he's been
Right.
here full time. So I keep asking
Yeah,
him,
that's a subject.
why don't we just move in together and save money? But he doesn't. He leans a little bit of freedom still, I think.
Yeah, I think he still wants his place,
Oh, he does.
but that's okay. You guys still have your relationship together,
Sure. Yeah.
you know? So Michelle, the other thing I was getting is an E or L initial or an A or L.
I have 2 E's. Both my grandmothers are E's.
Is one spelled E-L or E-D,
E-D.
like Edna or Edith?
Edith. Oh my God.
Are they both Edith?
One's Emma and one's Edith.
Emma, Edith. Okay. Yeah. I feel them around you. Now, when you had your experience, your near-death experience, did they come to you?
Emma did.
Emma did. Okay. Yeah. I really feel it was her and it wasn't your imagination. I mean, you definitely had this experience. And, thank God you're okay because your prayer got you out of everything. Your belief and your love and your will to stay well and for your children as well.
Oh my God. For my kids.
That's what kept you going.
It really
Sure
did. But I
Mhm.
felt like it wasn't like she was trying to get me to go to the other side.
No, she wasn't.
She was holding my hand and saying, you got to stay here on this earth and you're going to be okay. And she was just comforting me because, you're alone in a room. And
Yeah.
she wanted to show herself. That's what I felt like.
Oh,
Like,
Right.
I'm
And
not alone.
she wanted to bring you peace and hope and faith. And that's what's so beautiful. That's why I feel that prayer is so important and faith is so important, because without that, we have nothing.
True. Meditation is life-saving, it got you through it. This is powerful. So what happens right now? Like,
thank you for letting me do that. I don't know. I just, I guess because you said, do you feel anything? And I don't like to disappoint people. So.
Oh, so
thank you for opening yourself up to
Well, what
that.
do you feel since your feelings are open? How do you feel? Because we're always, with midlife, we have so many things going on in our lives and insecurities. But one thing that we feel really good about is the show that we've created and the intention of midlife and friendship and thriving. And we just, what do you feel about our show? And
I actually feel good about it, but I feel like it needs more marketing.
Yes.
It needs something more. It needs another element, like
RuPaul.
You said like RuPaul.
Just like RuPaul.
No, I'll tell you what you need. You need a community.
All right.
You need to build a community online and with the show, so that people have a place where they belong, where they feel like they belong. And you need to do more promotional stuff about it, so you can get people to know that it exists. But, this can take time. I mean,
yeah,
I've been doing my podcast in May, it'll be 6 years.
Wow.
And because I'm always ahead of my time. I've always been.
Look at that.
And so, thank God I have a community, and I have, amazing people that call in and watch. So I think you need to have call-ins.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you need to make it more of a community where people feel that they belong somewhere.
Oh,
wow.
I love
Engaging our audience. That's
Yes,
so smart.
I like that a lot.
Do you ever give readings to friends together?
Yeah. You mean two people at once?
Yeah, but that specifically about their friendship. Like, do people come to you for guidance?
Oh yeah, like romance and stuff.
Yeah, or friendship, but not romantic.
Yeah, sometimes.
Just I'm curious what the trends are. Like, when people are at a place where they're seeking guidance from you about their friendship, what is the topic usually?
It's like romance relationships more than friendship relationships.
People do care a lot about their hearts.
In your class that you're teaching about intuition, I feel like in our midlife, we sort of come back to intuition, where maybe before we had so much self-doubt, or we're finding ourselves that we don't listen to that gut, we lose it.
Right.
What is like one of your top 2 tips that you could give us to tap back into our own intuition?
Well, first of all, you can't just believe you're psychic. You have to know you're psychic, and you have to own it. And I call it that we have to own the 4 C's. You have to have the courage to do it, the confidence to own it, commit yourself to focusing on it, and then conquering it by acting upon it. And you can't have doubt. You have to own it. And the more you use it, the stronger it gets. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And I feel like, the trickster side, the dark side, doesn't want us to listen to that God's guidance. They want the dark side to, screw people up. And so protection is always important. My friend calls it psychic self-defense.
So how do you protect yourself?
Okay, glad you asked. So here you go. Imagine you're lit up like the sun, and that you are enveloped in a blinding white light, and swirl those lights around you faster and faster. And then put yourself inside an egg like this and close it up. The shell of the egg is a mirror, as you can see. So anything dark or negative coming at you will go back to where it came from.
Nice.
And then write this down. Anything that is in, near, around, or about me that is not of light, go back to where you came from. and turn to light if you choose, but stay away from me.
I love it.
And then, like when you go on an airplane and they say, put your oxygen mask on before you put the person's next to you.
Mm-hmm.
Always put yourself in the white light and mirrored egg first. And then you can put your child or your boyfriend or your husband or whatever in theirs. But always the first true love is self-love. It doesn't mean you're selfish. It means your needs matter. And so always put yourself in the white light and mirrored egg first, and then put your loved ones in. I seriously spend so many hours a day with all the people I love.
Oh,
Well, actually, I mean, we talked about the saboteur. That's another RuPaul reference. But with Mindy and I, for example, if I want to share a story, is
Yeah.
Easter Sunday, I just called Mindy after spending 24 hours with her, but I called her and said, I really want to talk to you. I feel like you're being hard on yourself. I don't like your inner voices that are now saying outwardly negative, that negative talk. How do you advise a friend who's seeing someone be dark about themselves and have their inner saboteur taking over? How do you help a friend pull them out of that negative talk and self-doubt?
Just by telling them you're doing it. Because you're halfway there fixing a problem when you know it's there.
so you
Help them acknowledge
it.
Yeah. You help them acknowledge it. And then you say, oh, I didn't know that dark side was creeping in. And then you demand it to go away.
So help
Go
them
away. You're not welcome here.
Mm-hmm.
So you help put them in the
Love the
egg too.
mirrored
Like
egg.
you do the meditation
Mirrored egg.
for them.
Yeah.
And then you also acknowledge it with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And we live this is something, kids, I have to teach you. We live in a physical world and we live in an energetic world, as I said earlier, and there's good and evil in both.
Uh-huh.
The world runs like a battery. There is always going to be a positive and negative charge, always. You can count on it. There's always going to be a positive and negative charge. And so sometimes it's better to know the devil you know than the devil you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So the important thing is to not allow the dark or the negative to interfere with your world.
No, it exists, right?
Yeah, and
Stay
if you're being your own worst enemy,
Yeah.
and allowing, sabotaging your own happiness because you don't feel you deserve goodness and happiness, you have to, change your MO and know that if God brought you this and you've earned this in your life, embrace it with gratitude.
Gratitude is
Not like, oh, I don't deserve this. Go, thank God I got it.
Yeah. Why not me? Back
Yeah,
to that.
gratitude.
Like that's what Michelle, even when she was in the hospital and at some point was like, why me? Why am I going through this? And Satish even said, why not you?
Right.
You are
Right.
a great
Had to be you.
messenger. It had to be you because you have a message and you're a conduit for change and information.
Right.
So,
But you guys need, I'm sorry, Mindy.
no, go right ahead. This is a
You're
good.
1,000% right. But you guys need to put more effort and time into this podcast and more social media time and more energy. You can't just expect it,
to just
like
grow on
magic.
its own. Right.
Now I have to tell you something really weird that happened while I've been talking to you about the dark and stuff.
Ooh, tell.
You guys shrunk to the one side of my computer, and on the other side of my computer, and I didn't touch anything, is like just my emails, which I have no idea how they popped up like that.
Weird.
So weird.
Maybe our spirit energy is all about email.
Shift.
But I love
Do
what
the
you
word
said
wisdom.
about the show needing more work. It's something that I definitely think about a lot because we have been doing this for about a year now. And I think we're at that point where we have
Take at least 5 years to really get it going the way you want it to go. And but you gotta put the effort in, and you gotta make it a community, and you gotta make it where people have a safe haven to go to, and that oh, well, wow, I'm a midlifer and I need someone to talk to. And you guys are really helping me understand that, especially in Hollywood, it's okay not to be 20 years old. I mean, who would want to be 20 years old again?
Oh God, no.
It's like age is just a number. And I have been really blessed with being able to keep getting into like pop culture. Like,
You're staying in the
Stay
game,
fresh.
Char.
Well, let's do our.
well,
let's
but
do our
here's the
word.
thing: the older I am, the wiser I'm supposed to be, right?
Right.
Because I'm the teacher. So I'm blessed to be able to do this because it's my purpose on earth. I would be miserable if I was just sitting home doing nothing.
No, that would be horrible.
And your gift helps people. And if who wouldn't want to do that with their lives?
Oh, well, thank you for saying that. And honestly, some of my students are blowing me away.
That's
It's like
so rewarding.
I had one student, I just said, you cannot work with me anymore. You are perfect the way you are.
Aw.
And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Go out and do the good work, right?
Do the good work. Well, by
Believe
all
in
accounts,
yourself.
if we are still doing this podcast, I will be well into the 60 zone eventually. And then by then we'll be living our best life and still doing our podcast.
That's right.
I love it.
The journey
I'm here
is
for
real.
it. I'm
All
here
right.
for
I'm
it.
going to focus on here.
It's podcast.
Before
It's
you
word of the
go-
podcast time, everybody. Word of the podcast.
Okay, it's the word of the P. Down with the P. I'm just
Peace
gonna like
is
feel
guiding Mindy's
I'm
hand
gonna
through a bag of
I'm gonna grab
50 words.
oh you.
You guys really need to get the community going, and you really need to interact with people so they have a place where they feel they belong.
Do you feel there's a large audience out there just waiting for something like what we're delivering?
Absolutely.
That's great.
That's why she's telling us what we
Right.
need to do. To
Yeah, I mean,
needle.
it's hard for a lot of people to go through midlife.
It is.
We need to get
Especially-
some real like community, go into the community places, go into some
Well, being engaging, I
Yeah.
think is
But one
thing
of
we-
the
Yeah,
best
and
things.
you know what else? You know what else you guys can do?
Hmm?
Once, well, you can do this online, but once COVID's over, and it'll be over, then you can like do a whole, like speaking events.
that's what we have foreseen. That's what we talked about, taking it on the road and being like
Right.
evening
You can
events
do
where we do
speaking
live
events
events with
and-
crowds
Yeah,
and friends
And
sisters.
exactly.
Yeah, because people in
Exactly.
midlife don't play enough. Like I say this all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Part of the reason, being middle aged, being in your 40s, 50s, 60s, being in that certain crux of life comes with a lot of responsibility, of baggage,
Right.
raising children. Parents are getting older. And so it can be really like a difficult, stressful, and unhappy and, hard time.
Right.
So much of this podcast is about us over the years, our friendship with each other has really been the thing that has supported us when we were falling or made us laugh when we were crying. And we
Aw.
just saw this incredible power in friendship. And then you think about it, and middle-aged people have something really special that young people do not have, which is
Right.
access to friendships that are decades long.
Mhm.
Right.
That is a special kind
Actually-
of friendship.
I love that you said that
Mhm.
because I am still friends with my friend. Her name is Minda. We used to walk to kindergarten together and hold hands.
Oh my god.
And our mothers would wait for us on the corner to come home from school. And I'm still friends with Barbara, who lived kitty corner from me. And we've been friends since elementary school. And I've got a bunch of friends from junior high school. And we're all getting together in Michigan in August.
And you
That
probably
is amazing.
could not be more excited, huh? Aren't you so
Yeah.
looking
It's
forward
the
to it?
It's the most fun.
Friendship.
And you know what? We've known each other. We're like family. We're like cousins. It's
incredible.
crazy. It's crazy good. And we're blessed to have that.
Wow, that's the kind of friendships you want to have. And I hope our children can find that because my daughters want a
know.
friendship like we have. So
Aw.
that's what we're all striving for.
Well, I'm so happy you guys have each other.
Thank you.
We are
We
so
are too.
lucky. Char, thank you. You know what? Before we wrap up, we'd like to pull our word of the bag, word of the pod
Word of the
out.
pod, the WAP.
And I grabbed one that just whatever, it drew me to it. And the word for the day, whatever comes to your mind first, and then you can give us your experience, is patience.
What's the first thing that comes to your mind with patience?
Hospital.
Our biggest lesson on earth
Wow.
Oh, really?
is to learn patience.
Mm.
because things don't always happen in our time. They happen in God's time.
Boy, and once you can accept that, life is much better.
Yeah. And so that's really one of everybody's biggest patience. It's like biggest lessons. Like so many people want to get out socially and whatever. And in some states they can't because of COVID and whatever. We just need to be patient, and time will be able to go back to almost normal.
That was, I mean, you just mentioned COVID. And when I heard the word patience, I thought, holy smokes, have we not just had like this has been the greatest lesson of the last year for me, is being there, realizing I can't go out, can't do every time something would pop in my head. Oh God, I can't go out because of the stay-at-home orders or safer at home. And I just realized, like, at least 20 times I've said, maybe this is just the lesson in patience that I needed. Like the universe is delivering me what I need, because I'm very like, I'm always thinking
go.
Yeah. What about you, Mend?
I don't, it just encompasses everything, really. I mean, I feel the same way. I'm just trying to be patient with my journey, patient with the journey of my teenage daughters. That's probably the biggest patience that I've had to exercise, because it's very, very difficult. So I have to focus on that every day, because yes, patience with
God bless you.
One day they'll be 20.
Michelle.
No, well, just enjoy the process, even when it's hard.
Patience with the process. I do. I will. I'm grateful I have it.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
I think patience, let's find our quote. But patience for me is something that I'm not going to lie, I have a hard time with. I really can be an impatient person, and it's hard for me. Delayed gratification is something you say a lot with child rearing, but I think us adults have that too, where we want, we always want an upward trajectory. We want outcome to reflect the hard work we've done, and
we live in an instant society where everything is always possible.
Yeah.
So,
and I think effort isn't always reflected on outcome. And so, patience, the two most powerful warriors are patience and time. And boy, have we not learned that lesson with COVID in this year and 2021. I think if everyone just took a deep breath and tried to have a little more patience with your friends, your children, your pets, or your goals, have some patience with your goals. Like you said, this game could play out for 5 years. And I think you make that commitment and ride the wave. You don't have to, to me, it's the journey. We're going to build our community. And Char, we're so happy that you are officially in the Friendsome and you're a part of our community.
Right.
I love being a part of your energy, and I appreciate that you guys wanted me on, and I hope you'll invite me back.
Well, our community
with
is
your
gonna
best
be
friend,
so big.
Barbara. That's right.
Our community is going to be huge, and you'll be back.
Sound advice.
Okay.
And we'll show you. Look, Barbara, look at our community now, and we'll go live. Or Char, we'll go live, and we'll take calls, and you can do readings.
Yeah, you guys got some work to do.
We do.
Thank you.
It's hard work, but it'll pay off in time.
Thank you so much.
And
Don't give up. Don't give up.
Good Sharma. That was wonderful, Sharma.
Sharma.
That's right. Not just a Char.
Oh my God.
Coincidence.
It wasn't a Charwincidence.
It was.
Thank you for Sunny, your psychic sidekick.
Thank you, guys.
This is another episode of
Friendsome.
Okay. Bye. Thank you.
We love you.
Did you like what you heard today on our podcast? Or did you like what you saw on our vidcast? Were you watching?
How about sending us a comment or suggestion on any topic you want us to talk about?
We'll have new episodes every Tuesday. Please join in the conversation on our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Instagram. You can download our podcast anywhere you get your podcasts. See you next time on
Friendsome Then Some.